The Sunday shake-up in North London continues as we turn to Tottenham, hoping to defend their unbeaten home record against Manchester United, boosted by the return of their captain Beth England to the starting 11, alongside Martha Thomas, who's up against her former team. They make 5 changes from that thumping by Manchester City. Well, having seen Arsenal peg back Chelsea earlier, Manchester United head to the capital with renewed hope of pursuing the top 3. 2 changes with Miyazawa out, Ladd comes in, as does Malar. So here's how your table looks tonight. Chelsea and Arsenal locked on 22 points. United can cut that gap to 4 with a win, while a Spurs win would move them level on points with the visitors. West Ham drop bottom of the table for the first time since March 2021. It is the last weekend of this year's Rainbow Laces campaign as we continue to show support for LGBTQ plus inclusion in sport. Kick-off less than 15 minutes away. Evening everyone, we will talk Spurs United in just a bit, but is that Storm Fergus or the wind of change in the WSL to gauge the temperature in all things WSL at the moment? Karen Carney, Stephen Warnock are here. The ground left shaking, Stephen. Oh, I actually didn't mean that. After Arsenal's win over Chelsea, do continue.
Yeah, I mean, was it an upset? Was it just a perfect performance by Arsenal? I think it was probably a combination of both. I think what you've got to try and do when you're playing against Emma Hayes' Chelsea is get them on the back foot, is make life difficult for them, and Arsenal certainly did that. This move here, this was pushing Chelsea onto the back foot, and Beth Mead, so calm in these situations. The best players find time, they create time for themselves, and it's a really smart finish. Berger, the Chelsea goalkeeper, gets in a little bit of a muddle. She wants to come and fight the players, and Ilstead gets in the way. But this from Russo is just class. That opening of the body up, that bending it in the top corner. Berger drops to the knee because she can't deal with it. And then Russo again, clinical from the spot. It's a really dominant performance by Arsenal against Chelsea.
Yeah, Emma Hayes said just the same afterwards, that the better team won. They were 1-1 at one point, but Chelsea then at the top of the table, 22 points with Arsenal. We know that Chelsea have got Manchester United at home, Manchester City at home and Arsenal at home. 2 of those games are at Stamford Bridge to come. And last day of the season, they face Manchester United away. So that's the top of the WSL table, and you saw Manchester United and Spurs on there too. Karen, seeing those fixtures that are about to come up for Chelsea after the break as well, they've North London derby to come for Arsenal next weekend. They've only lost 6 times in the last 5 seasons, Chelsea. Is this a proper concern?
I think today was the most significant day this season in WSL. I thought the performance from Arsenal was outstanding. I thought it was a statement result and performance, and I think now it's all of a sudden like I think it's going more towards the Arsenal side, because personally, since the Emma Hayes news kind of came out that she was going to America, my question was, what's that going to be like for the Chelsea team? And I know it's off the international break and Chelsea are usually a little bit slower, but that's the same for Arsenal. I thought Jonas Seiderveld today, tactically, he pulled a job. I thought in midfield they were outstanding. Kim Little playing higher up. I thought they really forced the Chelsea back 3 into making decisions to play into areas that were never on. So his game plan was brilliant, and then they executed it, like Stephen said there, on the weaknesses of Chelsea. And I think that was a statement from Arsenal, and I think now, I know we've always said it, that it goes down to the final day, but I think every game now is going to matter. This is a title race I don't think we've ever seen, and there's 4 teams in it, and that's why Man United need this result again today.
And just briefly, what do the other teams take from the way that Arsenal bullied Chelsea? Well,
physical element, Stephen's right. They were brilliant on the transition, they roughed people up, the tackles in. But I thought it was just an all-round performance. You can't just bully a team, you have to be tactically astute as well and technically, and you have to have the clinical edge. So it was a complete performance in front of a record crowd of 59,000 people. That is what we want to see for our WSL.
Yeah, great day for Arsenal then, and how the season will shape up. But we turn our attentions to Spurs next. I mentioned they're unbeaten at home, but Manchester United have only lost once in their last 15 in the WSL. We'll hear from the managers next. We're at at Spurs tonight, where a win would take Robert Villaham's side level on points with the visitors, whilst Mark Skinner wants Manchester United to close the gap on the top three. Both managers are with Jules.
Robert, the standout name on the team sheet tonight is a return for Beth England. You've got that smile. How good is it to have her back in your side?
But it's amazing. I mean, she's a great footballer, but also a great leader for us. So I'm very pleased to have her back, because the team want to have her on the pitch, and I want to have her on the pitch, and she's going to be very much helpful for me as well as a coach.
No doubt you're aware of what's happened in the WSL today, particularly at the top of the table. This presents a perfect opportunity for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, but I think it's not going to skew the way we play. Like, there might be a little bit more hunger to do that in some of the players' individual minds, but our collective mind is about knowing we're playing a very, very good opponent on their backyard, and we've got to be our very best. So I'd expect nothing more than it for it to fuel us in the way that we want, in a positive performance, but I want to see energy from us, and I can't be any clearer than that. Energy tonight, and if we do that, then we'll put ourselves in the best chance to win the game.
And against Manchester United, we know how good they are defensively and also going forward. What kind of challenge will they present you?
I mean, we played against them in the friendly game just before the season started, and they have so many good players, this team as well. So we need to be really sharp how we stay compact, how we defend together, but still we want to press them. So we need to do it in the right way, right? But then also to be brave enough to play our style. We don't want to just defend and hope that we just, take a draw or something like that. We're going to play our style, and we're going to make sure we try to go for it. So hopefully we can do it and win.
We've got to be at our very best today. I have no doubt about that. Tottenham have been performing really well. But I want to see an edge from us tonight. I want to see a performance, and I want to see us get right back to the biting best. And if we have to do that to win this game, I have no doubt about that. I've been very clear with the players what we must do, and I want to see that energy tonight.
Beth England back, the headline from the team news before it. We expected her to be in the squad, but to start tonight, how big is that for Spurs?
It's huge. You always want your best players to play. Game changers are vitally important in big games, but to sit in a changing room and know you've got someone who can score goals, who can hold the ball up, who can bring other players in, but also who occupies defenders because of you're known to people, you're known to be a threat, you're known to be a player who can cause problems. Suddenly your mind can wander onto, well, we might need to double up on Beth England. That can free spaces up for other players, so it's a big, big bonus to have her back.
Her goals, arguably last season, kept Spurs up. If we see her goals again this season, could that fire them further up the table? I mean, they're aiming for top three.
Yeah, I mean, Martha Thomas has done brilliant. She's got 12 goals for Tottenham since she's come. But since Beth England has come in, this was last season, she got 12 from, and you're right, she was the difference for them that kept them up, because she has that, what Stephen said, that leadership, but she's got that drive, and you know what, she's got individual brilliance. This was her against Manchester United, driving, you're thinking what you're going to do here, you're 3v2 against you, cuts in, and this is the difference, clinical. When, like Stephen says, when you've got a clinical striker, and today will be the first time that she'll be playing with Martha Thomas, now you're thinking in the final third, we've got confidence, put the ball into them, we've got every belief that they can make something happen, we've just got to give them that support. So it's going to be really exciting to see them both play today. How long you can get out of Beth England. She's been out for a while and she got 45 minutes against Gibraltar in the midweek. There's also the North London derby to consider that's coming next week, so maybe they're managing her minutes. Yes, of course you want a result today, but you've probably got that in the back of your mind as well next week.
Are you surprised that? Because we saw it, there was a little grimace. I mean, we're not suggesting anything, although I've mentioned it, but she had the operation on her hip. For her to start this one rather than coming off the bench, are you surprised at that?
We were talking about that just before we came on air, and we were saying, is it because it's cold? You get that warm up, you get sort of 30 minutes into your legs and you can warm up. Whereas when you sat on a bench, you sat in a 90-degree position with your hips sort of sat tight in the cold. How do you warm up? How do you really get ready into the game? The one thing that you know that is Beth England won't take a chance on it. If she's not right, she wouldn't play. Neither would the staff either, because they won't put themselves in doubt either and put her at risk and the team at risk long term. So I'm sure she'll be fine. I'm sure it's just a little one of those where you feel ever so slightly and you go, oh, it is still there, but that can take 2-3 games to disappear. So.
Just briefly on United, Miyazawa's out until after Christmas. Ladd coming in, does she actually give a bit more protection in that midfield, Hayley Ladd?
I think maybe last year you saw Ladd play more, and maybe Mark Skinner was criticised for not being as attacking minded, so we tried this season to bring Miyazawa in and be a little bit more attacking minded, and now she's not available, you might see her just slot in and have that defensive stability, but it allows the fullbacks to go on, so they maybe attack a different way today, but she'll probably come in and bring that balance and that little bit of structure support next to Zellum.
he knows that this is the one they've got to win, right? He's talked about maximising between now and Christmas. So vital, you think we'll see that attacking threat then from United?
Well, you'd like to think so. It's always a difficult game, this, off the back of Tottenham losing heavily, is how do you approach this game? The mindset is that we should be then winning this game by a big margin. It doesn't matter how many you win by, as long as you win and get the points on the board, but you'd expect them to come out and be creative and take the game to Tottenham.
What a good sight that is for Spurs fans. You'll see her just come out of the tunnel. Captain Beth England back on the pitch for the first time since the World Cup in a competitive fixture. How does she do? Talking you through this one, Rachel Yankee is alongside Peen Lindsay.
Caroline, thank you. Beth England is back. Tottenham Hotspur are back on home soil. No team have beaten them here this season yet. Well, after a humbling 7-0 defeat against Manchester City before the break, Spurs now face the red side with a chance to get back on track. But Manchester United haven't lost on the road all season, having picked up more points away than at home, and will be keen to keep the pressure on the top three, knowing a win could put them within a point of their title-chasing rivals. Well, let's get you to the team news, starting with Tottenham Hotspur then, and Robert Villahan makes 5 changes since their defeat away at Manchester City before the international break. Well, Becky Spencer is still searching for her first clean sheet since May last year. It's the first WSL start of the season for both Shalina Zadorsky and Amy Turner. Turner faces her former club today. Well, Rhea Percival also returns to the starting 11. She joins Anghara James in midfield. We expect Martha Thomas to play in that number 10 role to support the returning Bethany England, who is back for Tottenham to make her first appearance of the season since recovering from her hip injury. Jessica Naz makes her 50th league appearance. So no Grace Clinton in the squad today. She can't play against her parent club, so not involved. For Manchester United then, 2 changes by Mark Skinner on his side since their win over Bristol City. And the first name on that list, Mary Earps, who's played every minute of Manchester United's 88 WSL games so far. She's supported by the same defence. Hannah Blundell makes her 150th league appearance tonight. Hayley Ladd makes her first start since the opening 3 games of the season in midfield alongside the captain Katie Zellem. While Nikita Paris has scored in her last 2 appearances, Leah Galton has scored in her last 3 games against Spurs. And it's Melvin Mallard who replaces Jay-Z to lead the line for Manchester United. And there's no Hinata Miyazawa in the squad today for Manchester United. She is out injured. Well, Rachel, you want to focus on 2 players who could be key in this game, starting with Martha Thomas.
Yeah, I think she's, she's been fantastic for Tottenham this season. Obviously, while Bethany England's been out, but now both of them back into this team. It's going to be interesting to see, how she's going to play. If she's going to play in that number 10 role, how she will link up with Bethany England. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to her. I think you're playing against your old club. I think we're going to see a bit of spice from this one. So. Nikita Paris, I think, is the other one for me. If I look at Manchester United's squad, I think she's been the informed player. You look at her and she's so determined. She's a little fighter in there when she plays, and she's really, picked up form in this. She's getting goals, and I think she will want to look into this game and really, make her stamp on it.
Well, there are the 2 managers. Back-to-back games against the Manchester side, so Robert Villahan. Mark Skinner unbeaten in all 4 games against Tottenham as manager of Manchester United. And ahead of kick-off, the players take the knee as a reminder that there is no room for racism or discrimination. Well, here we go then. Tottenham have a chance to go level on points with Manchester United, but the opponents will be keen to keep the pressure on the top 3. Rachel Yankee.
Yeah, I think so. I think Manchester United, they'll look at, although they say they won't, that they'll look at today's result with Arsenal. They'll want to, and Arsenal and Chelsea, and they'll want to keep up with those. They'll know a win here today will take them within a point. They'll keep them up there. But, they've got great away form. So, but Tottenham, I think, they'll want a reaction from last time when they played against Manchester City. And also Tottenham's home form has been brilliant. So, it's going to be a really good game. I hope it's end-to-end. As a former attacker, I want to see goals.
Well, will we see that? Plenty of drama to come in this game, starting at the back here with Manchester United. It's Millie Turner, places over to Blundell, and now Leah Galton. Back to Blundell, who today makes her 150th career WSL appearance, also her 50th WSL start for Manchester United. She's one of the first names on the team sheet for Mark Skinner in that Manchester United defence. Letitia finds Nikita Paris, who scored in her last 2 appearances, and Mallard trying to find her way through. Zeller. Mallard again, and takes the place today of JC, leading the line for Manchester United.
They're both kind of sizing each other up, aren't they, here? You know, nobody really wants to give anything away early, so trying to find each other out.
Hayley Ladd, and it's Bethany England who wins the ball back. Riviere. First of all, looking to win the possession back for Tottenham Hotspur.
You saw the leadership there of Bethany England, you know, just a little point to Naz. That's where I want you to be. That's where I'm going to play the ball. So, yeah, I think she's going to be a real key player in today's game.
Well, I'm sure plenty of the Tottenham Hotspur fans who were waiting for the team news to come out an hour before this game to see whether Bethany England's name would be on there. I'm sure plenty of them super happy to see her back playing again. Here is Neville. And Turner was a bit dangerous, but Neville was able to tidy things up at the back for Spurs. 2 former Manchester United players starting for Tottenham Hotspur this evening. Martha Thomas and Amy Turner. Here's Paris. Well, Rachel, Tottenham certainly needed a reaction after that 7-0 defeat against Manchester City. Perhaps not a result that people are expecting. First, though, this is Leah Galton, who's looking to come on the attack, and the momentum just taken away, couldn't keep it in play. But it was something that Robert Wilhelm was saying. He was still happy that they stuck to their game plan, and we know the kind of game plan that Robert Wilhelm wants for his side.
Yeah, I think it takes time, you know. He's a new manager coming in, changing the way that they play. I think you have to give the team time, but they're looking like they want to get the ball down. They want to be exciting. They want to, you know, take risks, which we previously didn't see in attack from the Tottenham side. So I think there was just some sloppy defending, but they actually didn't do too badly in terms of possession against Manchester City. So we'll see what we get today.
Here is Turner. And now Letitia. Manchester United come into this game off the back of a 2-0 victory over Bristol City. And Percival forward by Turner. And it was Zellum who was able to win the possession back for Manchester United. They have been unbeaten on the road so far this season, Manchester United. Tottenham Hotspur, though, pretty good at home. They haven't been beaten on home soil. Now a chance for Bizet, who saw that Mary Oates was off her line, and she tried to take it quickly.
Really good pressure by Bizet there. Just close them down, Manchester United. Took an early shot on, possibly could have continued, but yeah, she saw her off the line, she went for it.
Riviere couldn't quite keep hold of it, but let's have a look at that opportunity again for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, again, really good. Forced them inside, presses the ball, goes on. I mean, there's no one with her, so why not have an opportunity to go and shoot?
And she's already got 2 goals. Celine Bizet, she scored in 2 of her last 3 WSL appearances, so has already proved to be a crucial player in that front line for Spurs. Riviere wins it back, and Paris couldn't hold on. Well, she scored in last season's 3-0 victory, Nikita Paris against Spurs. Zadorsky looking for Naz. Riviere plays it out to safety.
I feel like both teams just need to kind of settle down on the ball and just calm down a little. It's all a bit rushed at the moment.
Our first WSL start for the season as well for Shalina Zadorsky. She came on as a substitute in that 7-0 defeat against Manchester City before the break. And plenty of these players playing this evening as well, back from their international duties. Bartrip for Naz, and it was Zellem who wins it back. Paris looking to get away from Zadorsky, but Bartrip collects it. James, and across to Naz. And Bethany England is looking to break free, as is Thomas. Naz across, looking for Bizet. Here's Thomas, and down low, England! Well, what an opportunity, still alive here for Percival, and it's forced a save from Mary Oates, but a first real chance to Spurs.
Really good chance for Spurs. I thought Bethany England was going to get on the score sheet there. I love the beginning of it. It was so patient, the build-up, and then it got to Naz, and she's just really attacked it. Ball across, and then Martha Thomas with the shot, and Bethany England. Good save by Mary Earps, though.
Well, it was an important block by Maya Letitia to deny Spurs an opener. But maybe early warning signs for the Manchester United defence. Bethany England is back for Spurs, and she is already looking a threat. Galton, the ball just a little bit too quick. Bartrip, and across to Zadorsky. You can see early on, Rachel, just a couple of mistakes being made on the pitch, and I suppose Robert Villahan will probably be the happier of the two managers so far, because it seems that Spurs are the ones that have the most threat at the moment. Yeah, definitely, I'd agree with you. I think both teams have, some of the passes have just been a little bit sloppy, where it's just been too heavy a pass, or it's not had enough weight on it. But yeah, I think teams need to settle down into this game, but Tottenham have definitely been the ones where they've burst and gone forward. They've looked more dynamic than Manchester United, and they've obviously had that one opportunity. Well, Ladd was able to win it back, and she's looking to get past Neville. Only as far as Zellem. Here's Galton. Galton again, who couldn't keep it in play. The flag is up. That was better from Man United, though. They're starting to come back into this game. I think sometimes you just need one player to put a little bit of aggression into the game. You know, go for the ball like Hayley Ladd did there. Just sparks a little bit of life into your team. Turner looking to create an attacking threat, but the Spurs defence was solid. Here's Zadorsky. Now back to Bartrip. And Becky Spencer hasn't kept a clean sheet against Manchester United in her 3 WSL appearances against them. And I suppose that's one of the risks that you do carry if you're playing an attacking game, just like Spurs like doing. Here is Thomas. And Bizet looks to keep the chance alive. To England, but well defended in the end by Manchester United. Forward to Mallard, but Bartrip clears it away.
there's definitely spaces for Tottenham opening up. They're getting in. Manchester United leaving gaps for them to exploit.
Toon. And with the delivery, looking for Mallard. Paris was waiting for it as well, and very nearly showed the danger there for Manchester United.
It's a fantastic ball in by Zellum. Just that, yeah, you see Nikita Paris get in there. It's just the touch there. Doesn't come off quite right, but it's an unfortunate one from a Man United point of view.
Well, Zellum's delivery. It's alive, and Blundell looks to take it quickly. Oh, blocked, and now it's Spurs who look to come on the attack. Here's Naz. Naz keeps going. Well, there was plenty of red shirts getting back quickly to defend against it. It was actually Ashley Neville who was making her way into the penalty area.
It was well seen by Jess Naz as well. She saw Ashley Neville there, just couldn't make the execution well. It was a good block actually by Manchester United.
Well, a Toon is down at the moment for Manchester United. Well, chances at both ends. Well, neither side have been able to take them yet. Now Blundell. On to Galton. Turner finds Letitia. Blundell spotted the run of Alvin Mallard. Manchester United looking to try and get a bit of control in this game.
Yeah, I think Tottenham are just quite happy to let Manchester United have it at the back. You know, they're staying nice and solid. They obviously don't want to make it easy for them to break through them. You see there when they're defending, it's Tottenham shape as a 4-4-2. Just trying to pack the pitch out.
Galton. Out to Riviere. Now Turner. Zadorsky it away into safety. She's got quite the job on her hands actually to try and stop Nikita Paris down that right hand side.
She's doing really well at the moment. I think actually the Tottenham, as they've going back into that shape of a 4-4-2, they're doing really well to sort of narrow down the spaces. I think Manchester United have got to either keep moving to find the space, or really they've got to get someone on the ball to dribble and drive at them to commit a player so they can open it up.
Over to Mallard. A skip away from Bartrett. Now Blundell. Blundell across, away by Zadorsky. Now Turner. Here's Galton. Is it quickly looking for Toon? We will try our best to chase it down, but too much pace on the pass there.
I feel like Tottenham will be the happier at the moment. I think Manchester United have obviously come with an expectation when the team you're playing against previously lost 7-0. the expectation is you should be getting shots on target and scoring goals early doors. But I think Tottenham have done well to keep solid and stay, you know, defensively aware. And Manchester United look a little bit difficult to break them down at the moment.
And Tissier was looking for Leah Galton. As a player, Rachel, how frustrating is it when you have such a heavy defeat and then you've got an international break? You haven't got a chance to sort of, you know, rewrite your wrongs very quickly, do you?
Yeah, you can look at it that way, or you could look at it as a blessing in disguise. Yeah, sometimes you need that break to get away from each other and come back, and it's fresh, it's out of your mind, and you go again. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Tottenham have started really well and look really positive.
Well, a foul there on Percival. I want to take it quickly, and she sees that Naz was making the run.
Not quite sure they were on the same wavelength there. She took it quickly, but I'm not sure Naz knew that she was going to do it, or he's even in the position to get there. So a little bit rushed, and from a senior player, you would expect that you know, you want to calm the game down and just play at your own tempo.
Mallard. This is Paris. Finds Mallard again, but away by Bartrip. Ladd. Here is Turner. Maya Tissier has spotted Jade Riviere and smashes it right into Zadorsky.
It's better from Manchester United, you know, keeping possession, they're taking their time, and then when they're attacking, they're actually putting a little bit more speed on it. They're changing the tempo there, which is better for them.
Even Mallard trying to get away from Bartrip, but at the moment Tottenham are denying Manchester United any clear-cut chances.
Yeah, definitely. That was really good defending by Bartrip. Just got a body in the great position to be able to shield the ball back so Becky Spencer can have it.
Here's Neville into Thomas. Won back by Galton. Zeller finds Turner. How do you think the role of Martha Thomas will change now that Bethany England is back in the squad?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, obviously you come into a new team and, you know, you get the nod to play in the position that I feel that she wants to play, that being that centre forward. Now, obviously, Bethany England, she's the main player. You know, you get 12 goals in 12 games. You've got to be the main player. So now it's like, how are you valued within that squad? How does your role change? How can you play off of the striker? So it'll be interesting to see. But you know, when she was at Manchester United, she's played in a position where she's played wide. So she's obviously versatile enough to play in different positions.
Here is Zalem, put under pressure there by Naz. By Le Tissier, but there was no red shirts waiting to get on the end of it.
Need a bit more creativity from Manchester United. They're going from side to side with the ball, keeping possession beautifully, but then really rushing it and giving it away, long balls. I think they're better players than that. Get the ball to someone's feet, someone like Nikita Paris, someone like Mallard, so they can dribble.
Jade Riviere is battling it out with Naz. Lundell to Turner. Here's Elatoon. Fires it over, looking for Galton, who will chase this down. Up against a former teammate in Amy Turner. Galton perhaps left a little bit frustrated. Went for a goal kick, and Spurs back in possession. And Harrod James, and across to Neville. Mallard. Well, it's been a strong start down that left-hand side for Manchester United, especially with the influence of Leah Galton.
Yeah, I feel they do that most games. You know, they like to play that long ball down the left-hand side, get Leah Galton on the ball. Yeah, her crossing ability is fantastic, so it explains everything why they'd want to attack on that side. It's just the end product's just not coming off at the moment for Manchester United.
There's Galton again. Toon. Now Ladd. Looking for Melvin Mallard, who's was just tipped into the hands there of Spencer. Hasn't quite had the same sparkle this performance, this opening 20 minutes or so from some of the games we've had so far, especially when you look at some of the performances that both teams have put out. Manchester United, of course, will be looking back at that derby game at Old Trafford as well, which they lost against Manchester City, the improvements that they would have wanted to make immediately to try and keep that pressure on the top three.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like both teams have been a little bit reserved. I'm a bit astonished. I thought they'd actually try and go for it a little bit more with what's at stake. I mean, Manchester United, they really need to win this game, and Tottenham also need to win the game to make sure that they can stay up there with the, I suppose, the top four. I'd really like to see Maya Letitia or Millie Turner just drive out with the ball rather than passing it left and right. Actually break a line from the Tottenham defending front line and just really commit a player who can open up some gaps.
Here is Galton. Manchester United driving forward. Galton across looking for Paris. And into the hands there of Spencer.
Molly Bartrips does really well though to get across. I'm not sure Nikita Paris was totally on their toes and ready for that. Just reactions were a little bit slow there.
Here's Jade Riviere. Finds Mallard. So play it back to Riviere. This is good play from United so far. Looking to find Galton, who was ready to pounce, just couldn't find the target.
That was much better play by Manchester United. I like that by Mallard. Good ball in from Riviere and then instinctive finish, but it's just gone over the bar. She's really got to try and hit the target there.
More intent from Manchester United in this last 5 minutes or so. Another corner. Selim's delivery. Away by Neville, only as far as Blundell again. Played back in this time by Turner, who lifts it over into the stands.
Just wondering, thinking about that Mallard little back heel, it was fantastic. It pulled off and went to Riviere, but actually somebody, the communication, tell her to turn. She you know, the defender had slipped and gone on the floor. I feel like there needs to be more communication with those Manchester United players. It's got to be louder. We've got to be helping each other to attack more.
Riviere finds Zellum. James looking to put the pressure on this time. By Letitia. Naz turns to get away.
Just ran out of pitch there, Naz, but you see every time Naz gets on the ball, the crowd start getting behind her. They need to get the ball to her more, get this crowd behind them, get a bit of atmosphere, really put the pressure on Manchester United.
Well, doesn't look too happy at the moment, does he? Mark Skinner, the Manchester United manager.
No, he doesn't. He looks disappointed, but I can understand why. I feel like this is a game where you really want to insert your... Oh, good play by Tottenham.
And Thomas, who is trying to drive forward. It's Bizet who will chase it down for Spurs. And Bizet keeps going. Needs to get away from Blundell. And cleared forward this time by Ladd. Zadorsky over, looking for England. England across, and the flag was up anyway.
Good connection between Bethany England and Martha Thomas. They're working off of each other really, really well. So I suppose that answers what do we expect from both of them, to link up together. One's going in deep to head the ball, the other one's a runner coming off. Really good play from Tottenham.
Millie Turner.
Manchester United really need to take this game to another level in terms of just pressing, quicker play.
Well, here is Galton. Well, Nikita Paris was arriving slightly too late, though, and it was well spotted by Zadorsky in the end. Bizet does well to get away, but it's Ladd who wins it back for United. Finds Ella Toon. Galton. Wendell again. Mallard! Manchester United have a breakthrough.
There you go. There's the quality that shows. One moment they're looking lethargic. They look like they're not in it, and a great run by Mallard. This is where you can see the leaders. You can see Nikita Paris. They're geeing up the team. They'll know Manchester United. It's not being good enough, and they've got themselves a goal, and they're 1-0 up. Really good ball. She does really well, Mallard there. Pulls off the back shoulder of Molly Bartrip. Really clever finishing. And that's just cool and calm when you're into the box. Goalkeeper coming out of you. Watching the ball. Fantastic ball by Blundell. Look at that. Just the slightest of touch there. Just to get the ball in onto the target.
Well, it's her fourth of the league. Melvin Mallard, her fifth in all competitions. Just got the touch, and it was well celebrated. Hannah Blundell's pass was perfect. Well, you could see as well, Rachel, that all the United players went back into the huddle because they knew that they needed to show a little bit more intent in this game, and that certainly will give them some energy.
Yeah, definitely. I think sometimes there's moments in games where you just need something to happen to kick you into life, and I feel like that could be the moment now. Manchester United, are you going to start to play? Tottenham, can you make sure you stay in this game for the next 5-10 minutes? Don't let anything else through.
Here is Riviere. Finds Nikita Paris. Riviere. Well, it was the slightest of touches, wasn't it, from Melvin Mallard. but a perfect pass from Blundell. Well, we had to watch that in super slow-mo, Rachel, because we wanted to make sure it definitely got a touch from Mallard. It was the slightest of touches, but it just did enough, didn't it, to get it past Becky Spencer.
Yeah, definitely. I think just keeping your eye on the ball. So yeah, I think you know, it's really good finishing, and what you got to be is you got to be calm in that box. But it's the way she pulls off the back shoulder moments before. She's got her hand up. She's telling Blundell where she wants the ball. So it's that great movement gives you the opportunity to obviously get in there and score a goal.
I suppose the only person we have to ask really is Melvin Mallard. Did you definitely get a touch?
Trust me, she's a striker. She got a touch.
You'd be taking that all day, wouldn't you?
Definitely. Look, you've got to start. Usually Jay-Z plays. You've got your time to start, so you want to get a goal. You want to get in there. You want a bit of confidence. She's definitely taken that one.
And Jade Riviere just being told the throw-in is supposed to take place. Toon. Here's Paris. Naz clears it away, and it will be Neville who will chase it down up against Galton. And Neville gets away. They've been under a little bit of pressure in the last couple of minutes, Tottenham.
Yeah, they've been under pressure, but they've reacted well. I think, you know, you don't want to panic in those moments, and you definitely don't want to go too down. So they've reacted well. They just need to, you know, be calm, get back on the ball. Again, I think getting players like Naz on the ball, it lifts the crowd. You've got a dribbler on there. You need to get them the ball, though.
Well, they have got 7 points from losing positions in the league this season, Tottenham Hotspur. So this won't be too much cause for concern yet. Thomas. Seville out across to Bizet. Bizet looking to weave a way into the area, and it was a good effort. Straight into the hands though of Earps.
Yeah, as soon as she cuts inside here and has a little lift out, knew she was going to shoot there. I wonder if she could have actually, you know, gone for a bit more of the cross. Bethany England is so good with her head. Could she put the cross in there and allow her to have a chance? But like I said before, as soon as she cut in, I knew she was going to go for goal there.
Turner to Toon, and now Mallard trying to get away from Bartrip, but she read it well. Mallard again, but Turner this time to it quickly. Now England. Here's James. Passing it forward, and both Bizet and Thomas were the two who were trying to get into the area, but Earps to it quickly.
I just really feel like Tottenham are just rushing it there. Could you then, James, rather than trying to play that ball through to Bizet, could you come, give it a moment, because Zazorski was coming outside on the left-hand side there. Could she just go wide and just be a little bit calmer and build up the play?
Here's Naz. He's just switched sides with Bizet. Neville. Well, stopped in the tracks there by Ladd. Percival, back to Turner. Finds Martha Thomas. Now Naz, who is going up against Blundell. Riviere. What do the improvements need to be made for Tottenham?
For Tottenham, I think definitely just being a little bit calmer on the ball. I feel like everything's a bit of a rush. They're so eager to score a goal or to get an attack. Just need to actually calm down. But I think for Manchester United, the opposite, they need to speed it up. I think they need to actually, I think Mark Skinner will probably be disappointed that they're taking their time on everything. They want somebody to get on the ball and actually change the tempo of the game, just to be a bit more threatening.
Galton was looking for Nikita Paris, but actually Neville was there quickly. James back to Neville again. And couldn't find Martha Thomas, and Manchester United have it back in their possession. Toon. Here's Galton. To weave away and then stopped in the tracks there by Neville.
Ella Toon's starting to get into the game now, which is, you need to get a player like her on the ball. She's a player that threatens players. And this is Leah Galton at her best, when you can get her isolated 1v1 and she can take you on, get the fouls, get free kicks there, cause Ashley Neville a bit of a problem.
Oh, plenty to aim for Katie Zelem with this free kick. Zelem moves it forward, and she was searching there for Maya Letitia, couldn't quite find it. And we'll try again, but Neville watches it out. Well, Derby Day is coming up for Robert Villeham and his Tottenham Hotspur side. Tottenham against Arsenal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next weekend. Saturday coverage getting underway 11:30. Well, as it stands, Manchester United would go within a point of Manchester City in third. And after that, big victory for Arsenal, currently level on points with the league leaders Chelsea. And that is what made this WSL season so exciting already. Some of the results, some of the performances that we're seeing from some of the teams. Here's Paris. Bizet. Thomas looking to fire it forward, but straight into Letitia, and it's Beth England now who will chase this down, but Riviere got to it. She just looked onside there, Beth England. The flag, though, stopping her in her tracks. She wasn't happy with that decision.
Even still, I think Tottenham, again, it's a rushed pass. I think, you know, your match up between Bethany England and Riviere, you don't want them really in a foot race. I think keep the possession, you know, try and build up the play, try and get further into the final third.
Here's Turner. Up across to Blundell, and now Galton. This is Ladd. Galton. There's a cross and away by Bartrip this time. Another Manchester United corner. Here's Toon. And across and her away. Back in there by Letitia. Ladd wanted to take it quickly but couldn't quite get the strike she wanted. And given away, and here's Percival, but she's all alone. Now England. Here's Bartrett. Now Shalina Zadorsky. You can hear the Tottenham fans want to see a little bit more attacking intent from their Tottenham Hotspur side, who haven't really been able to test Mary Earps in the goal.
No, they did really, really well there. It was really patient. They kept the ball. You know, Percival, she was on the break, but she's turned back in, giving it to Beth England. They've kept it well, but then just that final ball by Bizet trying to get Naz in down the line, it's favouring Manchester United. You just need to be more patient for Tottenham.
Well, despite that, it's been all even in terms of the amount of shots that both teams have had. Just the one on target for Manchester United, though, 5 for Tottenham Hotspur, but I suppose it's those clear-cut chances and Manchester United's goal that's the difference at the moment. Here's Toon. Stopped by Neville. As far as Thomas, and here's England. Galton. Now Paris. Chased down by Riviere, but Zadorsky getting there. Ladd.
So official has indicated there will be no more than 1 minute added in this first half. 1 minute.
Well, they've already told us how much time will be added on in this first half, just a minute.
Yeah, it's been quite a clean game, hasn't it? The referee hasn't really had much to do. Tottenham, this is a good break by Tottenham.
Riviere looking to get there.
Both managers are sort of pushing their teams on. They're both on the sideline, eager to get their teams going.
It's Martha Thomas who's down at the moment. The former Manchester United forward. Will there be a feeling of frustration from both managers, despite, of course, Manchester United going in with the lead at the break?
Yeah, I think so. I think both managers would have expected more from their teams, just a bit more. I don't know, just a bit more energy from both of them. But then, you know, maybe you have to expect this when they've come back off of international break and players have travelled long distances and you haven't had a lot of training. So maybe it's something to expect, and hopefully they'll kick on in the second half.
Well, we'll have to wait for Martha Thomas after they take this free kick. Tottenham. Bartrip's delivery. Away by Mallard, only as far as Naz, and couldn't make the most of it. Blundell was stood right in front of it. Riviere. Zadorski, only as far as Thomas. Bizet. Here's Thomas again. To play it through to Bizet, and will be chased down by Riviere. Both players battling it out, and that will go Manchester United's way.
Yeah, definite foul there. Definite foul. It was nice play by Tottenham. I really like the way that Martha Thomas didn't just smash the ball in or throw the ball into the box trying to clear. She looked for Bizet, but then the second time it just that pass. Neither of them were on the same wavelength there.
Well, that will be that then for the first half. The goal from Melvin Mallard, the difference so far for Manchester United, who were able to find a breakthrough, but Tottenham Hotspur had really denied plenty of opportunities for Manchester United. The best chance for Spurs came from Beth England, who is back in action after recovering from her injury. Plenty more to come in the second half. But the half-time score here, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 1.
Evening to everyone just joining us on Sky Sports Premier League and main events. Karen Carney, Stephen Warnock here. Manchester United a goal up at Spurs at the break. We'll get to the goal in a bit, Karen, but defensively we were looking for improvement from Spurs. I mean, they were 3-0 down to Man City last time out, went on to lose 7-0. Better?
Yeah, I do, and I think they've made it really difficult for Manchester United. As we said, we know it's 1-0, but they've caused Manchester United a lot of problems in how to defensively set up, and I'm going to show you now. It's a real simple 4-4-2. There's a couple of nuances to it, but there's your four in midfield, there's your two centre forwards, and there's your back line. At times as well, I think the two centre forwards, we mentioned them, they're great in attack, but what they do really well for Tottenham is out of possession. And at times, Bizet will jump on their right-hand side, but straight away, got to credit Martha Thomas. She's always getting around the deep line for Manchester United, and they can't play through her. Again, Bizet will try and jump, and you see on the far corner there, Bethany England will do it again, but she won't leave and vacate the midfield there until they get the nod. Then now, Beth England jumps out, but again, always around this player here. She's always protecting those two. The pass can't go through there. So Man United are struggling to play through at times. Now, this is the bit that you liked, I think, Stephen, coming up. The ball goes out. This is the opposite side that you mentioned.
Yeah, Bizet's got to get in. She's got to make sure that that run in now is a sprint. And as you can see at the top of the picture, it is a sprint. You make sure that it's a real intent to go and close the ball down. But the shape from Tottenham's been so much better, so much more organised. There's just one flaw to the whole game.
The goal comes, then a defensive lapse, perhaps, for them when Mallard capitalises on. Yeah, and it's just a defensive lapse from Molly Bartrip, where she just switches off for a slight second. The one thing I do think is she's looking at Paris in front of her, and then she switches off thinking, is it going to go in front? Then she's hopeful that the ball's going to just wander over her head and no one's going to be behind, but she just switches off for that split second. We're still unsure who the goal is. You're claiming who gets it. I won't be claiming it. All day long.
But I think the difference is Man United haven't played well, but when you bring in players like Mallard, I know JC hasn't played today, you bring in players that when you're not playing well, they can get you something out of nothing, and that's a difference for them. All right, United ahead at the break, but Spurs have come back from these situations before. No side has won more points from losing positions than Tottenham this season. Second half on the way. Stephen, what did you notice about Spurs' average positions in those first 45?
Well, the big thing is when you're playing against a team like Manchester United, you've got to try and make this pitch as small as possible. So what they've done now is effectively this is now their pitch that they're defending in. Take away a full-size pitch and make it as narrow, make it as compact as you can. And when we take a look at the average positions, you'll see why this is being affected and why it's happening. So this is perfect from Spurs' point of view, and it's something that they didn't do in the Manchester City game. So it's making sure you set traps, make sure you're organised. It's been superb so far.
Now what they need is a couple of goals. Pien Mullenstein is alongside Rachel Yankee for your second half.
Thank you very much, Caroline. Well, will we see more goals in this second half? No changes made by either manager at the start of this second half. The final checks being made before we get back underway, and it's Katie Zellem who gets the ball rolling for Manchester United. The only goal from Melvin Mallard, the difference so far in this game. But Tottenham Hotspur, who had a couple of chances, Beth England with the best one in the first half, they'll be hoping to create a little bit more in this second half. And that's what you wanted to see as well, Rachel, wasn't it? A little bit more energy from both sides.
Yeah, a little bit more energy, a little bit more bite. Just someone really daring, someone willing to take the risk. I think, you know, there's been a lot of passes, especially Manchester United. They've had a lot of possession. They've kept the ball really nicely, but just someone that's going to drive on and really try and take the game to them. Tottenham, good ball in, but just a little bit behind Bethany England there.
Another cross into the box, searching for Beth England, who will be hoping to get on the score sheet today in her first appearance back since recovering from her injury. She will have been desperate to get back playing as well after such a long injury. Does it take you a little bit of time to get used to playing into, you know, back into full fitness again?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, it takes you, you know, obviously depending on the injury, but you know, and also fear mentally in your mind what's going on. You know, are you feeling right? Are you feeling ready? Can you move? Can you do what you could do previously? So, you know, I'm sure it'll take her a couple of games, but she's looked good today.
Here's Zellem across to Ladd. Left this time by Mariette. So it was interesting, actually, when you look at the changes that Robert Villeham had made to his Tottenham Hotspur side. 5 changes this evening. He'd only made 7 changes to his starting 11 this season before tonight. So it's not often that he makes many changes, but of course, after that 7-0 defeat, the Tottenham Hotspur manager wanting to change things around. They certainly have been defensively more solid.
Yeah, I think they've looked really good defensively. I mean, obviously the goal is what the goal is, but you know, they've really tried to squeeze the pitch. They've tried to make it predictable what Manchester United are doing, and they've tried to be really solid. And I think for the majority of the game, they've done that really well.
There's Turner. Ladd across, looking for Riviere, who's making the run. Trying to get away from Zadorsky and makes the challenge.
This is an interesting one here. Oh, it just outside, but that's, it's got to be a foul, that.
Well, the foul wasn't given. Here's Neville. Now Blundell again, who played a very important role in Manchester United's opening goal. And a yellow card there for Naz.
Unnecessary by Naz there. I don't think she needs to do that. Just you know, you don't want to get a booking for something silly like that.
Riviere. And it's Bizet who made the foul. Immediately apologises for it as well. Here's Toon.
It's good organisation by Tottenham, though. They're really making it predictable where Manchester United are going to play. They're pushing them from side to side. This is good by Tottenham because Manchester United are really not pressing them at all. They're not pressurising, sorry.
Was hoping to find the through ball to Leah Galton, but Spurs defended well. Bizet. And Bizet holds on to it. Looking to find the pass to England. A little bit tricky, really. Well, Manchester United's only defeat this season so far is against Manchester City. In the Manchester derby at Old Trafford. That was their only defeat in the last 15 league games. As for Tottenham, though, they're hoping to try and end a spell of 4 games without a win. They had started the season off brilliantly, and here comes Ella Toon! It's 2 for Manchester United! They get a second early on in the second half, and Ella Toon with a brilliant finish. That is exactly the start that Mark Skinner would have wanted from his side in this second half.
Definitely, and we said towards the end of the first half, Ella Toon was starting to get into this game. She was starting to find gaps and spaces. The ball into Mallard, and it was brilliant. She holds it up so well. And then that run from Ella Toon, which we've seen so many times in an England shirt, she does for Manchester United. It's a fantastic goal, but that ball by Mallard is perfect. Just the slightest of touches there by Ella Toon. Fantastic goal. Knows exactly what she's going to do. Look at the eyes there.
Ella Toon with her second of the season. How important could that goal turn out to be for Manchester United? And we said we wanted to see a little bit more energy from both sides, and it certainly has been a bright start to this second half so far.
Yeah, I mean, it was perfect. It was slow build-up, but then once it got to Mallard and she's held it up really well, then you see the burst from Ella Toon, and that's what you need, that change of pace, something that just really ignites the game. And, you know, fantastic goal by Ella Toon there.
Well, how will Tottenham Hotspur react? Turner. Paris is over to Mallard. Pressure on the Spurs goalkeeper, Becky Spencer.
Good pressure by Manchester United there.
James. Bartrip finds Naz. It's up here by Galton and held back by Naz, who needs to be careful because she's already on a yellow card.
I think she's hurt herself in that, Naz, making that challenge. It all came from the ball that came across to her. It's her first touch. She really hasn't got the ball. She didn't control it, get it in and around her, and then after that she's just chasing back to try and regain the ball.
Zelen. In for Turner. Now a chance for Spurs to break, but stopped by Leticia, who got there just in time. This is Nikita Paris. Riviere looking for Mallard again. Well, there is going to be a double change for Tottenham Hotspur. We are hearing it might be the end of the evening for Beth England. So here come the changes then. The first will be Chesnaz, who is replaced by Rosella Ayan. And then Kit Graham will replace Bethany England on her return to Tottenham Hotspur. 55 minutes played.
Yeah, they needed a reaction, Tottenham, and I'm not surprised making 2 changes, especially Naz getting that yellow card puts her in a bit of danger, and obviously Bethany England, you know, just coming back from injury. You've got to be careful with a player, especially with the games that they've got coming up.
Here's Martha Thomas. Thomas across, looking for Ayan, who was making the run, and Mary Earps to it quickly, but what a chance that was for Spurs.
Fantastic chance, all comes from Martha Thomas. Look at this run, just a little, she controls it, little swivel there, sends the player off balance. It's a great ball in. I just wonder if Ayan could be a little bit braver there, just get across Mary Earps. You never know what could happen if it had put her off.
Nikita Paris looking to get it away from Zadorsky. Here's Zellum. Finds Riviere. How much of a boost will it have made for this Tottenham side, knowing that Bethany England is getting back to full fitness, especially because she is their, you know, record WSL goal scorer?
Yeah, I think it'd be a huge boost. I mean, the goals that she scored last season kept them, you know, really out of danger. So, you know, you've got a player like that, you always want them to play.
Here's Paris, looking for Mallard. Blundell. There's a fine Mallard again, Zadorsky away this time, and it's James. Picked up here though by Ladd, who wins it back and plays it across. And it was just waiting for a red shirt to tap it in just across the face of goal. It was well worked by Manchester United.
Really enjoyed that play by Manchester United, and the thing that was the best thing about it is that it's all short play. Manchester United have got so many technical players, but in the first half they've just wanted to keep putting the ball in long, and I could never understand it. Just play the ball to people's feet, 1 and 2 touches, get it round people, just pass and move around them, and they did that there, and it was quite an exciting attack.
Blundell. 2 over to Ladd. And looks to weave away inside. This is good work from Hayley Ladd. Back out to Mallard! 3-0 for Manchester United. The Reds celebrate. They've got 3. Another well-worked goal, Hayley Ladd, who created the chance, and Melvie Mallard with a brilliant finish.
What a fantastic goal that is. Just the way she caresses that ball in, but you've got to credit Hayley Ladd. Determination to win the ball back. Look at her, the driving at the player, running, trying to get inside. question whether it's a penalty, but who needs to know when Mallard can put the ball in the back of the net just like that. Fantastic run by Hayley Ladd. And what a finish that is.
Marvellous from Mallard. Manchester United looking comfortable in this game. Against the Spurs side before this were unbeaten on home soil. Will that record be broken tonight? Here's two. Much more attacking intent from Manchester United in this second half. And they are looking to take advantage. Tottenham Hotspur under pressure.
Yeah, they're looking good, Manchester United. They're playing the ball, playing it around, nice passes. Everything seems to be a little bit quicker, a little bit better, not so sloppy with the passing. Everybody looks a little bit more confident now. Amazing what goals can do for you.
Lundell. Seen out there by Ashley Neville. Well, Tottenham Hotspur are without Grace Clinton, of course, who is ineligible to play against her parent club. But she has certainly been an influential player in this Tottenham Hotspur side this season, and they will be missing her tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think creativity, you know, a brave player, also scores some fantastic goals. You know, they're definitely missing her. Missing Drew Spence as well. When you look at Drew Spence out of that midfield, the bite that she gives them, you know, such a fantastic player. We saw her in the World Cup for Jamaica, you know, really play a pivotal role for them. So, you know, Tottenham have got some real injuries, but you know they need the players on the pitch to be a little bit braver and really go for this game now.
How do they get back into this game, Rachel?
For me, I suppose the worry is when you've been beat previously 7 that you don't want to go all out and leak more goals. But I think for confidence-wise, in terms of the way that Tottenham are saying that they want to play, they've really got to be a bit more intent in the way that they attack, a little bit more confident on the ball.
Turner.
The one thing Spurs can't do is get frustrated when Manchester United are keeping the ball. They're rolling it from left to right. They want to open up gaps. They want Spurs to come out of their position, and Spurs have really got to stay determined in what they're doing. They've got to be sure about their defending positions.
Thomas trying to get it forward to Graham, but Ladd picked up for Manchester United. Here is Letitia. Out to Zeller. Riviere. Back to Mary. So it was interesting, actually, Rachel, after that 7-0 defeat for Tottenham, that Robert Villeham basically took the blame. He said, I'm happy with the way that my players had played because they stuck to the game plan. They went attacking. They created chances. He said the 7-0 was on him. He took the blame for it. So how long, in your opinion, does a manager deserve for a team to really make their mark on a team?
I think, you know, you need to give a manager time, especially when they're coming in and changing the way that the team plays. You're asking a team to be brave. You know, it's good that he's taken the blame for that.
There is Martha Thomas, who hooks it straight into the hands of Mary Earps.
But ultimately, the players on the pitch, they'll want to put that right. They'll want to make sure that they can show that they're better than losing 7-0 to Manchester City, or losing at the moment as they are 3-0 to Manchester United. They're a team that want to be in the, want to be pushing for the title, want to be pushing for top 4. They need to be more positive, I think, in attack, because they've got some very, very talented players.
And Galton for Manchester United now. And the cross looking for Zellum. Also taken on for there by Anhara James. Bizet going up against Nikita Paris again. Kept in there by Zadorsky. Paris, who a bit of a late challenge there by Zadorsky. And a chance now for Manchester United to make a couple of changes as well. Lucia Garcia and JC, the two who are ready to come on. So the first change will be Nikita Paris making way for Lucia Garcia. And the next change will be Melvin Mallard, who has really played a crucial part in their 3-0 lead so far. Manchester United, she's replaced by JC.
The last thing you want to see as a Tottenham player, these two players coming on to the pitch. They've got such strength in depth, Manchester United, in their forward line.
Zellum with the free kick, away by Zadorsky. There's Bizet, who dances away from Zellum. And as far as Thomas.
I think that's the biggest problem. You see Bizet breaking free there, but she's just got no one to play it to. There's no one up there for Tottenham. They just haven't got enough numbers, so it just needs to be better.
Well, it's Garcia who will take this on for United, and she's looking for the options in the box. And JC had started the last 4 WSL games, but of course she was away on international duties with Brazil. Ayan to Neville. Cross, and here is Bizet again. Bizet finds her way through. Looks for Ria Percival, and it took a deflection.
Fantastic run by Bizet. There, she's just taking her on, sends a player down. She's really confident on the ball. Close controls, brilliant. Ria Percival with a long shot. Good block by Millie Turner.
Tottenham Hotspur looking to find that glimmer of hope to get them back into this game. To Turner, and cleared away. Percival looks to keep the chance alive. It's Riviere who holds on to it, up against Graham. There's Blundell. Finds Galton. It's away from Neville. And the charge is on for Manchester United, but perhaps not the right pass. They win it back. Blundell. Finds Haley Ladd.
Good, Haley, good. Teeny super.
Well, James is down at the moment for Spurs, but they keep on going. This is Ayan. Turning forward, looking for the pass to Rosella Ayan, who was making the run, but too much pace behind it.
Yeah, way too much pace on that ball. I think sometimes that long ball just isn't on. Just got to be more patient, keep the ball, try and get the ball into players like Martha Thomas, who are in the middle, like James, in these central areas. Rhea Percival, get it there, and then you need to start to play. I think just a little bit braver with possession, Tottenham need to be. These are the moments like there, go and press her, get the team up.
There's Blundell. Finds two. Back to Millie Turner. Thea Garcia. Given away, and James looking to take advantage. Couldn't quite find the pass to Martha Thomas. JC keeps going for Manchester United. And she had Riviere, who was in space on the right-hand side. Now a chance for Tottenham to respond. Bizet. Bizet keeps going, and in the end the shot was a tame one.
She's done everything right but the shot at the end, and that's the thing with Manchester United. When Riviere pushes on and Bizet stays high, she's got acres of space. She's gone on, she's done so well, but the shot, she just kicked the floor as she's hit it. I'm not quite sure what she's done there, but she just hasn't caught the ball right, and it was just a tame shot. Easy for Mary Earps to save that one.
Bizet was just caught in the face there. Well, she's okay. Celine Bizet, who has been very influential in this game for Tottenham Hotspur. She's created a couple of chances, but they've really lacked those clear-cut chances, Tottenham, especially in this second half, and trying to really test Mary Earps. Will that be where his frustration is?
Yeah, I would think so, but I think organisation-wise, defensively, they've looked very disciplined, but when they've gone forward, they probably look quite individual, and it's at those moments when you're playing in the final third that you really need to be a team and link up.
Certainly be busy for Becca Spencer recently against the two Manchester clubs. Plenty of shots faced and conceded 10 goals in that time.
Brilliant footwork from Ella Toon there.
Blundell finds Zellum, and now Toon. Zellum again. The flag is up. And they want to get on with it quickly, Tottenham. Leave it for the goalkeeper, Spencer. Here's Graham. Chased down here by Zadorsky. And it was missed by Letitia. Zadorsky has it, looking for the cross. Ayan.
Zadorsky, she's just gone really high with that cross. Could she have just wrapped her foot around it and whipped it in there? Just caused the problem for any defender that's going back, and then also give Martha Thomas something to get onto. Really good by Tottenham though, getting in those areas. The space was out wide, they exploited it brilliantly, but it's just that final product. They need that final bit of quality and maybe a little bit of luck.
Well, it certainly was a super start for Spurs at the start of this season. They had won 3 in a row. They're currently on a 4-game winless run. We're hoping they could get back on track. They have some tough opponents to face. Manchester City in their last game, of course Manchester United today. They face Arsenal. And here's a chance for JC to try and make it 4.
Great pressure by Manchester United, but she's really got to take that shot across the goal rather than near post where she hits it. I always love it when people press Becky Spence, because she's one of the best goalkeepers with her feet. I never feel any worry when she's got the ball at her feet. Hopefully I haven't cursed her now.
Oops. Here's Turner. Lundell. Neville looking for Ayan. To weave through, but it was Toon who got the touch and just got caught there by Neville.
Neville just catches her there. It's a loose touch by Neville. She tries her best to get back onto it and just catches Ella Toon there. It's going to be a bit of a sore one.
Neville. Ayan. Made by Turner, and here is Toon. Entered by Neville again. Ayan. Well, another double change to be made for Tottenham Hotspur. Mona Petzelberger and Lin Yan Zhang, the two ready to come on. So the 2 players making way, Celine Bizet and Martha Thomas, the 2 who make way. Lundell. Well, the Tottenham Hotspur manager, Robert Villahamn, perhaps having one eye looking ahead to that North London derby that they've got coming up next week. A couple of key players who have just come off: Celine Bizet, Martha Thomas. Here's Zhang. Here is Ayan, to get away from Turner. Ayan with the delivery, all the way to James. Tottenham Hotspur couldn't make the most of it. Well, the North London derby next week. Tottenham back in action at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Arsenal. On to put in your diaries. Coverage gets underway 11:30 on Sky Sports Football. And a change for Manchester United as Rachel Williams replaces Leah Galton. Well, there could be a milestone reached for Rachel Williams. She scored 49 career WSL goals up until now. She is on the hunt for her 50th. And if there's one thing that Rachel Williams has been good at this season is scoring goals as a substitute. She's really been making a difference, hasn't she?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, she's always been a threat coming late on when you know, teams are maybe getting a little bit more tired, a little bit more distracted, maybe not conscious of what's going on around them. She's deadly in front of goal, and if she does get a 50th, it'll be against their old team, so I'm sure she'll be on the hunt for that one.
Here's James. It's okay by Ladd. Eyes it across 2-2. Neville got in there just in time, but out to Lucia Garcia now. Lays it to Ladd. What a goal! Manchester United have 4, and Hayley Ladd with a fine finish. And surely that is all 3 points wrapped up now.
What a fantastic goal. This was patient play again by Manchester United, but Hayley Ladd, she's really come into this game just to get her foot underneath it and get that ball up. What a good goal that was. Fantastic technique, because she hasn't got time to step onto it. She's really got to get underneath it, lift the ball. Fantastic goal.
Ella Toon. Well, this will certainly feel like another painful day for Tottenham Hotspur, who were hoping that they would be able to get back on track after that defeat against Manchester City. But what will they take away from this performance? Because it's something that Robert Villahamn speaks about all the time, is, of course, the scoreline is what matters at the end, but his performance that he's trying to get his players to do. Will he still be finding the positives in this?
Do you know, I'm not sure, because I feel like this was probably a little bit more disappointing in terms of performance than the Manchester City one. I feel that they haven't had that many chances. They lacked a bit of energy, and you need your players to give a bit of fight. I think defensively they've looked organised, although they have let in 4. I think they've looked better there, but Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know what the manager has briefed the team in terms of what they want, but I think he's going to be a little bit disappointed. And with the next games coming up, one being the North London Derby, yeah, they're going to need to be better than this.
Riviere. Back to Marriott. How much of a statement will this be from Manchester United to the teams in the top three?
Yeah, I think it's a big statement because they haven't been at their best and they've still won, and they're winning by 4 goals. So to say that, you know, we can win by 4 or possibly more, it's not finished yet, but and not play at our best is a massive statement to those teams around them.
Well, 2 more changes then for Manchester United. Gemma Evans and Lisa Nelson, the 2 who will be coming on. So Ella Toon will make way. There's Ella Toon, who scored the second for Manchester United and received a round of applause from the travelling support. And Millie Turner makes way for Gemma Evans. Riviere. Work from Jay-Z, who's being under pressure. She keeps going as well. Now it's Zhang. Now to go at it alone, but the Manchester United defence standing strong. Thea Garcia. Ladd. Is it over to Williams? Now Riviere. Who's being forced all the way to the corner flag. Well, a chance, Rachel, for you to tell us your player of the match.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been some good players, but got to pick a Manchester United one, but I think Ella Toon's got to be the one. I think she's changed the game in terms of her movement, getting on the ball, really driving at players and opening up gaps. So, yeah, Ella Toon for me.
There's Williams again. And dancing through and runs into the hands there of Spencer. Zhang. Back to Neville. Now James into 5 minutes of added time. Well, there are still questions about whether Melvin Mallard got the final touch on that first goal for Manchester United. Hopefully we'll be able to ask her post-match.
I still think she should say yes, whether she did or she didn't, it's a goal.
Here is Jay-Z. Options arriving in the box, but well defended by Tottenham. Neville clears it out for safety. Well, Manchester United's next game in the league sees them face Liverpool. Here's JC again. James to Bartrett. Now Williams. Back out to Zellum. And across to Riviere. Manchester United just controlling the game, which they had done really from the beginning of the second half, Rachel.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, they're just keeping possession. They're kind of toying with Tottenham now, and that's all that Tottenham can do is get the ball, clear it away, but it's just going to come back. Manchester United are really in total control of this game, and they must be happy for the night's work because they're winning here 4-0. They haven't played at their best. They've been able to rotate players, so yeah, I think Mark Skinner will be really happy with this.
Here's JC. Out to Riviere. Out to Evans. Where do the immediate improvements need to come from Tottenham Hotspur before that North London derby next week?
I'd say just belief. I mean, it's hard now because they're playing Manchester United here, and then Manchester United are building with confidence and they just can't get the ball. So for me, it's a difficult one now, but it's just keeping people disciplined. But, belief when they go into that game, North London derby at Tottenham Stadium, they've got to have belief that they can really go for it, they can play their own style of football and they can take something from the game.
Spencer across to Bartrett. Well, he would have been looking for a reaction from his side. Once we'll be able to hear the post-match thoughts from the Spurs boss, Robert Villahamn, at full time.
I suppose when you look on a positive for Tottenham Hotspurs, they've got minutes in players like Bethany England. They've got other players on the pitch now, substitutes they've been able to make. They've got a lot of injuries within their camp, so hopefully they've got time to get players back fit. So I think you have to look at that as a positive, and hopefully they come away from this game picking up no more injuries.
Here's JC. To weave away inside. JC works well, but into the hands of Spencer. The clock ticking away. Hotspur, who were able to deny Manchester United plenty of opportunities in the first half. Defensively more solid than what they had been, but there goes a full-time whistle. Another convincing performance from Manchester United. Mark Skinner will certainly be pleased as the pressure continues on the top three. Manchester United go within a point of the top three. But the opening goal, we'll have to wait and see if the final touch was from Melvin Mallard or was it a goal from Hannah Blundell. Either way, both players heavily involved in this Manchester United win. Ella Toone with the second goal for Manchester United. Melvin Mallard certainly got the third, and it was Hayley Ladd with a fantastic finish to make sure that Manchester United secured all 3 points. It's another heavy defeat for Tottenham Hotspur, who will have their eyes set on a North London derby next week to try and get back on track. The full-time score here, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 4.
Rachel, thank you. If you are watching us on Main Event, you are about to leave us. We will bring you more reaction, though, from that defeat for Spurs. And clinical, Karen, from Manchester United in that second half.
Yeah, like you said, second half was a better performance. I thought Tottenham started to tire. I thought the game plan, funneling them into central areas and then hitting Tottenham into hitting them where it hurt, actually. And I thought JC coming on as well looked sharp. I think the tempo was a lot better in the second half of Manchester United and in the wider areas.
Yeah, Mark Skinner called for that tempo to shift before the match, and you saw that change.
Yeah, it did in the second half, and it had to change. First half was probably a little bit too lethargic, a little bit too slow and passive in the way that they played. But second half, the speed in which they moved the ball was better. They actually opened the pitch up a little bit more as well, which allowed them to cause Tottenham to come out of the shape. And overall, Mark Skinner will be delighted with the performance away from home.
We'll hear from both managers then before the end of the show tonight. But that's your final match of this WSL weekend. Just one more weekend to come before the Christmas break. And there's a weekend that started with that win for Manchester City, coming from behind to beat Aston Villa. Huge result, Arsenal beating Chelsea 4-1 at lunchtime today. Draws between Brighton, Leicester, Liverpool and Bristol City. But a big defeat for West Ham, may just have been a goal in it against Everton. But vital for them come the end of the season, that result could be. And Manchester United with a 4-0 win over Spurs. Say that about West Ham because they're actually bottom of the table for the first time since March 2021. They're looking up, and at the top they'll see it's all getting a little bit congested. Manchester United 4 points off the top. Now next weekend Spurs are back, and this time it's personal.
Tranquility on the streets of North London has given way to tumult. Enter the two tribes. Arsenal Spurs, a deluxe edition. It is them or us.
Yeah, who doesn't love a bit of local difficulty? Midday next Saturday, join us for the North London derby. We will get to the rest of today's matches throughout the show tonight, but you will be able to see highlights from all of those matches from midnight on the app. And Christmas must be on the way, that's why I've gone high-pitched. The World Darts Championship start Friday from Ali Pali. And to keep you entertained before then, all episodes of Smothered, new romantic comedy available now. No funny business, though, for Manchester United on their trip to London. We'll reflect on that main event about to leave us, but stay with us as we'll hear from the managers and the player of the match. 4 goals, 4 points off the top for Manchester United. For Manchester United in a 5-star performance. They went 1-0 up. We think it was Mallard. Blundell might be claiming that one in the first half. It was 2-0 in the second. Ella Toone, a lovely ball from Mallard around the corner. Toone's second of the season to make it 2-0. And then a fifth, if she claims the first WSL goal of the season for Mallard shortly after. And then it was 4-0 from a player that we saw start this match, Hayley Ladd. Talked about her difference in midfield. She actually made it 4 on the day for Manchester United. United actually scored from 3 of their 4 shots on target in that second half. Tottenham just had the 1 shot on target in the second 45 minutes. Difference in possession, the passes in the final third for Manchester United as well. The player of the match, though, is Ella Toone, and she's with Jules.
Ella, a convincing win. You were one of the goal scorers. It wasn't the best of a Manchester United performance, but to come here, don't play as well as you can, but to get 4 goals, that just says everything, and that's just a statement you can send out.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be difficult today. Tottenham have been a really good side this season, and they made it difficult for us, especially in the first half, but we showed that grit and that character that we have in the team, and it wasn't always pretty, but we managed to get the 3 points, and that's the main thing.
What was said at half-time in that dressing room to turn it around, turn the performance around?
Just keep sticking with it, keep sticking with the game plan, keep moving the ball quick. It's always hard on pitches where it bobbles to get the game going and to move it quick, but we stuck at it, we made runs in behind, and yeah, we got the goals, and that's the main thing.
How many goals did Mel score today? She says 1. Suggestions on television replays, no one can really decide if it's 1 or 2.
Oh, I don't have a clue, but I know we won, so that's the main thing. And yeah, there was a few different goal scorers today, so that's always nice.
Well, if it is only the 1, 4 different goal scorers, that just sums up the spirit and what you've got, the talent in this team as well.
Yeah, we know we've got depth in squad, we've got players who can come on from the bench and change games and get on score sheets as well, but yeah, it's nice when goals come from all over the pitch. No matter who gets the goal, we're always happy as a team, and like I say, we're really happy with the 3 points.
And the way you scored your goal, I've seen that, we've seen you do that so many times for England.
Yeah, I don't know, I like scoring chips apparently. But yeah, it was a great ball by Mel, and yeah, I ran in behind and I seen the goalkeeper coming out, so all I needed to do was get it over, and yeah, luckily it went in the back of the net, and always happy to get on the score sheet.
I know it's been a bit of a setback for England this week, a big setback for the England players and for yourself as well. The mood though, does it quickly change when you come back to the club, or is that just going to linger in the back of your mind for a little bit?
Well, of course it's tough to take. We had a really good camp, and we had 2 really good games, and yeah, we should be proud of that. We should be proud of what we've done, what we've achieved. Obviously, it's not ideal for us. We want to go to tournaments, but your mindset has to switch, and it has to switch quick, because you've got to come straight back into club football, and yeah, you've got a game at the weekend. So I think for all of us, all the international players, of course it's there, but we've got to put our minds and our efforts into club football now.
Club football, to move to within a point of those teams above you. Such a big day, such a huge day in the WSL.
Yeah, massive. Some great games. We obviously watched the game this morning, but like I say, the table's unbelievable, and the teams in it are great. Anyone can take points from anyone, so yeah, it's nice to be a part of.
Nice to be a part of. You're still in it, scorer as well, and Ella, you are the Barclays Player of the Match.
Thank you very much.
Good to see that smile back on Ella Toone's face. I mean, there were some questions right at the start of November, Karen Carney, about Ella Toone and her form, but she does have the most goal involvements and assists in Manchester United history. We always know that quality's there.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we have young players, they will go through little dips, and there's such a high expectation of Ella Toone, and for Manchester United players as well, when they're their own, there's all that even more expectation, but she just had to go through that little period, but she has come through it, and like you said, the goal involvements, the performances, the presses, the assists, I think the last month, I think she's been superb for them and a real big difference.
Stephen Warnock, let's go back to that first goal then for Manchester United. We know that Bethany England had a chance to put Tottenham ahead, but this goal, I mean, we don't know who gets the final touch. I'm sure we'll try and get that clarified, but either way, for Mallard to get that goal just really silenced Spurs.
Yeah, it did, and Spurs have been very good defensively, very well organised, switch off at the back post. Nikita Parris' position just in the middle of the picture there. Does that just take the attention away from the defender, and then you've got Mallard in at the back post. We're still unsure, like you say, of where the touch comes from, but the presence of being there is enough to put the goalkeeper off and cause a big problem. So when it's a really good overload from Manchester United down that left-hand side to work the opportunity to get the ball into the box.
Yeah, Hannah Blundell, it's her 150th WSL appearance, so you think she might want that one.
Maybe, and you're asking a fullback as well. Which one is going to? They all stick together, fullbacks.
Always go with that.
For that.
Every need.
Yeah.
1-0 then at half time. We wondered how things perhaps might change in that second half. Is it Spurs' undoing, or is it Manchester United ramping things up?
Well, I think we mentioned at half time how Tottenham were really narrow, compact, and were making it difficult to play through for Manchester United. So what do? You go from your goalkeeper, you play out, and you go over the top, and you simply miss it. And this is the long ball. Brilliant hold-up play. It's far too easy, though, from a Tottenham defensive. And a third-man run for Ella Toone, running off the back shoulder of the player into the penalty area is what she does best in a central area. It's a brilliant finish over the top. But I thought it was just really clever, just simple ball over the top. You eliminate Tottenham's press. The distances were a lot bigger for Tottenham defensively in the second half, and Manchester United just massively exploited that, and it was a better performance from them.
Much better second half than Mala. If she didn't get the first, I mean, the second for her, either way around again, was quality.
Yeah, but it's good pressing from Manchester United. It's an organised press. It's perhaps a little bit of tired legs from Tottenham, but then the finish is great. I mean, this is a really good tackle, but as it falls to Mallard, she's got one thought in her mind and uses the defender to push it round into that bottom left-hand corner. It's a really smart finish, but the press from Manchester United is absolutely superb to win the ball back. Then the individual, little bit of brilliance to open up that midfield area, and then as it falls to Mallard, she does the rest. But just look how unsighted goalkeeper is. Just as it comes here, use the defender, put it into an area. She dives just fractionally too late because of that, using the defender.
Fourth or fifth WSL goal of the season, depending. We'll leave that one hanging. And then for 4-0, we mentioned Hayley Ladd beforehand, the change made for Manchester United enforced, really, but she gets a goal. Again,
as Stephen said, centrally pressing and winning it back, Manchester United, but Hayley Ladd there plays it out wide. They're just really calm around in the penalty area. Look, it's poor defending. You can't put your foot on the ball and make that pass to Hayley Ladd defensively, but take nothing away from it. It is a brilliant finish from Hayley Ladd. There she starts it, recycles it. It's really good feet from Garcia, sets it off, and it's just the first time, I think it's instinct, she just puts her foot through it. And she really deserved it. It was a really good performance from Hayley Ladd today, nice and controlled, but we've seen her last season sit deep in a kind of a two block. She got forward today and got a reward.
We were up at Old Trafford for the Manchester derby, and you were talking about what they needed in midfield, Manchester United. Hayley Ladd, I mean, I guess fortune for her with Miyazawa out until after Christmas to take this opportunity now to make things work.
No, it is an opportunity, and I said at the start, I think last year Manchester United played with 2 sitters and a 10, and I think this season it was maybe, can we be a bit more attacking minded, and unfortunately Ladd kind of suffered in that, but now there's an opportunity and they might play a little bit different. And look, when they lost to Manchester City, I do think the levels of City and Spurs are very different if we're comparing. So it's an opportunity for Ladd, and today she took it.
We'll hear from boss Mark Skinner in a bit, but if we have a little look at the WSL table tonight, Ella Toone said it, they're all watching that match at lunchtime and saw Chelsea drop those points to Arsenal. There will be belief that they can catch those teams at the top now, Manchester United.
Well, if there's not, there's a question that needs to be asked within the changing room, and that is what Mark Skinner asked before the game was, can we get a result out of this game? Can we just stay within touching distance and give ourselves that opportunity to push the teams at the top? And they've done that, they've answered that, because it was a tricky game tonight after Spurs had been beat heavily last week. We thought they'd go defensive, and sometimes that's very difficult to break down. I'm sure when we speak to him, he'll be absolutely delighted.
And they were flat in that first half, United, as well.
Yeah, and also it's always tough after the international break, and also when you're the last game and you've seen what Arsenal have done to Chelsea, and you're thinking, more pressure, and you're thinking, oh, we're the last game. If we don't get a result here, what does the gap look like? So I think overall, Mark Skinner will be thinking, I can't ask for the players anymore. 4-0, clean sheet. Maybe better first half, but overall it's about the whole game, and he'll be happy.
And we know they've got a cup game and they've got a league match before Christmas break, but then they head off to Malta and come back and face Chelsea as well. You'd be looking at that, United, and relishing that opportunity.
I mean, it's a brilliant preparation to go away, warm weather training, new environment, and then get ready for that game. But I wonder, do they need any other reporters to get on a trip to Malta? I'm trying to get myself to Malta, man. I might ask him after.
Can you fit this in your luggage and do a bit of analysis whilst you're there?
We'll see.
Yeah, potentially. We've got lots of goals to analyse as well, but we will talk Tottenham in just a bit too. For them, when you look defensively, improvements then? That first 45, do you forget the second 45?
you can't forget the second 45. You can only improve on it and get better. First 45 was positive because it was organised, it was compact, it was difficult to break down. Tired minds, tired bodies in the second half, that's always going to creep into it, but you've got to eradicate that. You've got to try as hard as you can to implement that for 90 minutes.
All right, if you're watching us on Showcase, you're off. Keep watching on Sky Sports Football as well as we analyse the rest of this match and hear from both managers on the way too after that 4-0 win for Manchester United at Spurs.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.